Hey lovies, welcome or welcome back to the channel, Aries only, where I channel messages for Aries only. Today we are doing a moon reading, my favorite kind of reading. Yay! We're going to see which energies are coming through for this full moon in Aries, guys. It's our moon, and you know what that means. It's going to be super intense. It's going to be super heightened. I'm sure like a lot of passionate, angry emotions might be coming up for you guys. I know that I've noticed that a lot in my life. I honestly just got in a screaming fight with my mom this morning. My voice is still a little hoarse. I was like literally screaming. Um, it's embarrassing, but you know what? Like honestly, sometimes like you have to like get that rage out somehow, whether it's by like exercise, screaming, hopefully not at somebody. Like I kind of wish I didn't lose control, but when you step to me when I haven't even had my coffee yet, I am not a morning person. Like, watch out. It's just like at your own risk, like do so at your own risk kind of a thing. Not that that makes it right, but and I'm also it's also like my cycle, a time where I'm a little testy as well. So it's just and a full moon is just not like a good combination. So like, you know, like there are times where I can keep control, especially an Aries full moon. But it's like, and probably you guys as well. So there might be this issue of that. And also I shuffled a song for you, and I swear to God, I shuffled once, and it was Seven Nation Army by the White Stripes, which it's like, what's the first lyric of that? Like, I'm gonna fight them all. Seven Nation Army couldn't hold me back. So it's like, oh, the storm. So I feel like there is this sort of like, yeah, stormy, chaotic, like even like the tower energy. The tower is a card that is ruled by Mars. So there might be stuff just kind of like, like coming to the surface, resentments and things that like maybe could have or should have been talked about, and maybe things need to come to a head in order for these like in the future, like being able to talk about things in a more constructive way. And maybe it needs to get a little bit messy before you realize like there are better ways to go about things, better ways to express yourselves before things come to a head. But let's go ahead and get started with the actual reading and see what is the vibe for what are the energies coming through for this full moon in Aries on October 17th. Obviously look up to see like when it will be in your area. We have the nectar and the warrior and the venom. I'm going to keep this because I feel like this is like the vibe that I'm feeling. Um, I like that the nectar came out as well, because to me it's like the nectar is like the good stuff, like that is like buried, not even buried, but it's like in a flower. So this I kind of do just want to get one. But all right, let's look at this just for a minute and then I'm going to put it back. But yeah, but it's like this warrior energy, and I feel like no, I'm going to keep these. I'm sorry. I know you are probably like, okay, like you're so annoying. But it's like venom versus nectar. I like that. Honestly, I didn't even think of that till just now, but it's like venom is a poison, nectar is kind of like a sweet substance, like, you know, um like within a flower or something. Venom is like if you get bit by a snake, it's like the snake's venom, or is there spider venom as well? That you need to kind of like suck out the poison. I always think about like Mean Girls, and when Katie is like saying like I had to suck the poison out, blah blah blah. Maybe someone is like judging you, pushing you to the edge here with the threshold. There could be judgments on your side or the other person's side, but there's definitely some sort of sticky situation here. We have the vow, could be in a marriage or something like that, or maybe you've you sort of took a vow to yourself to be like a little bit more peace loving, because that I think there was a dove on there. I don't know. Yeah, like a dove. So it's maybe you feel like you broke the vow to yourself that you were going to try to be like a more, I don't know, easygoing, calm person. Like you didn't want to deal with conflict in this way. Maybe that's something you've worked on. You've been doing some healing work here, but I think spirit is saying that I don't want to look into the nectar, but I think spirit is saying that sometimes these things do need to come to a head. Like in the tarot deck, it's like there's good cards and there's, you know, there's more cards with more positive associations, I should say, and cards with more negative associations. And the negative association cards, like the deck would be incomplete without them. And the reason that these energies exist is because they exist within us. It's like, you know, the tarot is basically a mirror of like human emotions and archetypes and things like that. So those more chaotic, angry, energies, destructive energies, like do exist within all of us, and we are sometimes subject to them, especially when certain circumstances like kind of like make it a little bit more difficult to like control yourself. So I feel like with the nectar, it is Spirit's way of saying that there are good things associated with this warrior energy. But let's look and see what it says. This is number 58. Okay. The nectar, the medicine, the elixir, and the garden. Oh my God, yeah, look at the dark side. Fixation on fixing, aggressive approaches to healing. Okay. But in Hindu mythology, there is a miraculous substance known as amrit or nectar that contains infinite healing power. This golden nectar or secret elixir is the drink of immortality, and like its sister substance, soma, is known to activate subtle intelligent forces that ease the mind, body, and spirit. Though esoteric, these images lead us to the central energy of this archetype, the sweet, potent, heavenly essence that lubricates our spirit back to life. The nectar card calls us to identify and relish in places, practices, people, and activities that regenerate and heal. Medicine is needed, and it comes in subtle form that you may be overlooking. Seek the most sensuous, fragrant flower in the garden you have forgotten. Don't underestimate this remedy. It is said when someone has activated the substance within, it is reflected in their shimmering eyes. Okay, beautiful. I feel like basically what this is saying is that both of these approaches is how I'm taking this are like necessary. Like that's like the message. It's like these are like kind of opposite, and even like the snake is kind of reinforcing the energy of like that venom, and that like there's sweet substances and there are more sour substances. They both have a place in humanity and our psyche and our bodies and our emotions and our reactions and our approaches to things. So it's like we can't really control that, and we can take note of it. Like I was saying, like we can appreciate that this isn't an energy that we want to remain in, and try to work on healing and things like that. Like this was saying, like more softer approaches to healing, protect. I see this as looks like black tourmaline bracelet to me. I don't know what that's actually supposed to be, but there's ways we can protect ourselves from certain energies, and maybe distance ourselves from certain people. Sometimes you can, sometimes you can't. But let's go a little bit further to get more clarification. So, what are the energies coming through? How will they affect Aries this full moon? Trickster, transcending convention, stuffiness, and predictable behavior. That's like a magician energy, a mercurial energy, is how I'm taking that. Let's get one more. I like this double. Advocate. Inspires you to put compassion into action. Okay, so I feel like this full moon is, I feel like you could have, with this transcending convention, stuffiness, and predictable behavior, I feel like you could have been like going along to get along, trying to keep the peace. This is an Aries moon, and the Aries and the Libra axis is all about like the self, Aries energy versus the other, that Libran energy of almost people pleasing. And Aries is more like, it is like this warrior energy, like, and even that kind of is reminiscent of a ram a little bit. I feel like spirit is saying that, like, I think I think the universe and spirit is wanting this transcendence of this convention and the stuffiness. Maybe you've been keeping a little too quiet. You've been letting things slide. You've been trying to just like take things in and be like, okay, okay, okay. And then it's like, so I think what spirit is saying is that like they wants you to find this like happy medium of like expressing yourself and saying what is bothering you, in a more subtle way, with less aggression, with less fight behind it. I think that in trying to deny this warrior energy, it's like going from when I'm serious, like my throat really hurts from like this morning, like, oh my God. Um, by trying to deny this warrior energy, it almost like multiplies it. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, even that's like an X. It's like a sign of multiplication. I'm getting that. Where it's like stuffing it down, even that says stuffiness, but like I'm thinking of like stuffing things down. Even like, oh, let me like take all this and like put it away in this hat. Like I don't have to think about it. I can just, go along to get along or whatever. But it's like stuffing things down and then it like coming up and like being such an extreme version. Whereas if you just like maybe like said something about what was bothering you, um, for me, my mom is like a nagger and that's what it was about. So I'll just use that as example. But it's like if I would have just been like, hey, like I kind of get upset because like I try to be very like considerate and I feel like you are constantly like on my case, nagging me. I feel like even when I am trying to do well, it's very discouraging because I feel as though like there's no point in continuing to try because like it's just basically isn't creating the result that I want, which is for you not to freaking nag me anymore, you know? Um I don't know. Like maybe there's a way that like this subject could have been broached in a more like intellectual way with the energy here. So, yeah, now going over to this advocate inspires you to put compassion into action. The shadow is embracing negative causes or committing to causes for personal gain. I feel like this is spirit's call for you to become more of this advocate in like yeah to like step into this advocate energy more where you are advocating for yourself and but again and from a more compassionate place like using this softer nectar energy you know um it's almost like yeah here we're trying to be like strategic or we're trying to be almost like using logic and reason to like stuff down our feelings, which is never really a good idea. Like they need to be addressed in some way, shape, or form, or things can't really stay. Oh my God. Things can't really stay buried. They always kind of come back. Things come to a head, and then there's like there could be like an extreme reaction not even necessarily on this person because like say this is also like a boss or something you might be like okay like I really can't take this out on my boss but you might take it out on like a romantic partner or like somebody else. Do you know what I mean? Mm, okay, let's get some affirmations, intentions for this moon and see. This says I am more than enough and I am allowed to say no, but it's in reverse. So again, I feel like there could be this energy of I think we need to turn that card upright and realize like yes, we are allowed to say no. Um and this says I am magnetic when I stand in my power, but it was also in reverse. So I feel like you've been giving your power away in the name of again, it is Libra season, so maybe you've been embracing this Libran energy. Oh, I just want to get along with everybody. Let me try to make the peace, even when people are kind of like stepping on you or pushing your buttons. You're like, let me just like sidestep that, like pack this away for a little bit, and like let's just like all get along, or let's do this, or blah blah blah. And then like again, it comes spewing out. But there needs to be times where things are addressed, where you stand in your power, and you're like, you know what, actually, like I don't appreciate that. You know what, actually, like that bothers me when you say that. Like, don't be afraid of a conversation. Don't be afraid of speaking how you feel, speaking on your feelings. I feel really frustrated. Is there any way that we can work this out? I feel like this is more of the same. Like, and maybe this is again, we had that judgmental energy that I was seeing earlier. So again, this could be triggering things within you that you are like insecure about already. Like if someone's nagging you or well that's my example but if someone is like bothering you or picking at you or saying like kind of like talking ish to you and it's an old wound that maybe you've really been trying to heal but it's like you're still sensitive about it and so it does cause like a stir or like an emotional reaction within you. Ooh, look, I just cut to that new moon in Aries, but it's a full moon, not a new moon. But anyway, okay, so what needs to be released, what needs to be let go of during this full moon in Aries for Aries? What does Aries need to let go of? Okay. We have it's time to release negativity, full moon in Scorpio. And what needs to be seen? Look at the bigger picture, full moon in Sagittarius, like two like intense moons. This is a full moon in Scorpio. Scorpio is ruled by Mars and Pluto. Full moon in Sagittarius, another fiery like full moon. But anyway, what needs to be seen? you and your loved ones are safe. New moon in Cancer. Overall energy up. Full moon in Aries. Fiery climax approaches. Love it. Yeah, so again, there might be this like fiery climatic events happening. Let me just get my tarot cards as well. Where's that deck? Sorry. Where did I place this deck? Oh, right here. Sorry, guys. What are going to be... Actually, I don't want to use this deck. Sorry, after all that. I'll use this one. I love this, though. Hold on. Let's like move that a little closer. All right. What are going to be like the most harmonious aspects of this moon for Aries? The Sun with the Three of Pentacles. Like that. Okay. Nope. Let's like move this stuff over. We have like a little space here. And the Page of Wands. And then what is the most challenging aspect? The Chariot. I guess Judgment will keep it. And the Page of Wands. King of Cups on the bottom of the deck. Should we get a third one for over here? No, I feel like it came out the way it wanted to. All right, now it's the Six of Swords. Okay. So what is like really good here? What needs to be let go of? It's time to release negativity. Like there's been a lot of negativity festering inside of you. And again, with Scorpio, that's eighth house things, like triggering things, things that trigger us, things that we're sensitive about, like we were talking about, like issues even from childhood or like a past life or something like that. I feel like emotions are definitely running high. I feel like also we're going into Scorpio season and then Sagittarius season. I'm just noticing. So I feel like this, whatever happens during the course of this full moon, could sort of have like there could be like ripple effects I'm getting for like a little while, just in order to like get things centered, get things really like balanced and things like that. This is definitely a very intense moon, and you know, you could be dealing with like unkind people, like we were talking about, but also like you could be entertaining a dynamic where you're sort of like letting someone have power over you, or maybe somebody is in a position of power over you. Like, for instance, with me, I live with my mom, like she's basically my landlord, and it's like her house. Like, obviously, I have to respect that. Or like we were talking about with a boss, but it's like somebody like that, like a parent, a boss. There's like, or even a relationship where there's like a weird power dynamic. Like there could be something like that. Um, where maybe somebody is like making you feel bad about yourself, like kind of like like intentionally like poking at your issues, or they're just like they expect perfection or nothing's ever good enough for them, kind of a feeling. And it's this like power dynamic that is causing you to just all of a sudden feel like you would need to like take your power back, is the vibe that I'm getting, to prove like you think that I'm not enough, but I'm more than enough, and I'm gonna like, you know, kind of go crazy and show you. Or even if you're not like directly taking it out on this person, it's like I feel like there's issues of like a lot of anger and like rage and things like that going on. So I'm trying to see, grudges are toxic, let something go, the end of an argument. So I feel um like I'm just going to read this quick. The full moon in Scorpio has a sting in its tail. It can herald a vindictive end to a relationship. It can also be a time when we want to be good, but we're naughty. If you pull this card, no matter when your dark side and your shadow self, no matter when your dark side and your shadow self may be showing. The full moon in Scorpio is also a time of magic. If you were thinking of making some magic, this is your sign to do it. Okay, so I feel like, yeah, this is talking about like this is a time when we want to be good, but we're naughty. Like, okay, I wouldn't necessarily use the word naughty, but like I would say like we're trying to be good in that Libran energy, but then this Aries energy, it's like we're going like from one extreme to the other, where it's like people are probably thinking that like, oh, you're unhinged, there's something wrong with you if like you're having this crazy reaction. But it's like, okay, but like I've been like, this isn't just about this one thing. This is like a buildup, like especially with a Scorpio and a full moon, this is like an emotional buildup that's just like culminating and then like coming to a head, like a fiery climax that has been like a long time coming here, with this full moon in Aries at the bottom of the deck. So I don't know. I feel like, and then what needs to be seen, we have this full moon in Sagittarius. um I'm just like thumbing through this really quick. It's like there might be all this stuff going on, but what needs to be seen is that, again, this is all part of the bigger picture of your life and your energy and your journey as a person. Um, and that, like, Sagittarius is a very expansive, freedom loving energy. So I feel like you could feel like trapped in a situation, again, like a job, a living situation, to a family. But also, I feel like look at the bigger picture. Like you could be feeling like repressed or judged or something by, like, we'll just use family as an example because we have this Cancer energy. Like this could be a mom for maybe like a lot of you. Um a Scorpio, it could just be like toxic family, I feel like, or things related to money. So again, like that boss energy, I guess. But it could be anything really. But this could be something where it's like, yeah, maybe like there are toxic dynamics within your family, but they're still your family at the end of the day. I'm getting like this vibe here where it's like, at the end of the day, like with this nectar energy, like we do want to use these softer approaches to healing things, like putting compassion into action. Um, we do want to heal these relationships if that's possible. For some people, maybe they feel like it's not possible. There are certain things that you can't go back from. I'm sure a lot of us just watched the Menendez brothers documentary on like that show or whatever, like that monster show. And like, I mean, okay, like if you were those kids, if that is true, what happened to them, like I guess nobody really knows. But okay, I don't think there's anything coming back from that. Obviously, you're probably not going to be able to heal those relationships in a softer way. Obviously, I'm not advocating for like what they did, but I'm just saying like that's like an extreme example of like, okay, like we need to just like distance ourselves and like get away from this. Like we don't need to like heal this. Like there's probably no coming back from that if you're going to treat your children that way. Again, if it's true, but just like the example of like if that really happened, like um there would probably need to be like, okay, we need to get the police involved and like there's like a whole other thing. But if it's just kind of like a dynamic where like, oh, like your parents are kind of like hard on you or judging you, not that to minimize that either, but that can be talked through, worked through, healed through. You can speak up as well. And always in any dynamic there's always two sides, there's always two people playing a part or more. And I feel like moving over here really quickly to like the most harmonious aspect of this moon for you guys, I feel like the most harmonious thing is going to be like releasing a lot of this stuff and getting it like out in the open. I feel like you could have really been like holding things in, and it's like now it's like boop, everything's out in the open. Everything is out of us, better out than in, even if it did come out in a way that you're maybe ashamed of or upset about, or maybe you're not. But if it does end up coming to a head in that fiery way where there's like a big argument or something or a fight, I think spirit saying like better out than in, better like that you did have this all out in the open to be talked about and discussed. And maybe like once, like you got to think about the tower, like we were talking about that tower energy. And um once like the tower, after the tower comes the star, is that right? Yeah, 16, 17. And it's like that rebuilding process. So we had, the things that were bothering us that we weren't speaking on, like, building, building, building. Now they're like out in the open, hopefully, and we can start the process of trying to like heal those relationships if that is possible, and like building things up like that. I feel like that's what the most harmonious aspect of this moon is. I think it's going to give you the opportunity to do that with certain people that, again, maybe we don't see eye to eye. There's been these issues, things that are bothering us, but we're finally going to be able to talk about them. And looking at the bigger picture, like this might actually be something that is positive and allows like a certain sense of freedom. Like I feel like with the full moon in Sagittarius, like what is holding you back from feeling free and happy, and maybe there were all these resentments festering, but now we're moving into this new era here where I feel like there is a focus on you and your loved ones where you're maybe able to, um, I don't know, you're able to like have a little more of a like harmonious dynamic. Like it is going to be super emotional and maybe like, with family or with certain family members here, that's always or there's like a certain like very sensitive dynamic, certain things, or where it's like, if you like fight with your sister, it's like you revert back to being, or a sibling I should say, sister or brother, but like you revert back to like when you were kids. Like same thing maybe when you're arguing with a parent. Even just for me earlier, I felt like I was 14 years old again. Like I was like losing control like I did when I was 14, like a teenager, and my like hormones were going nuts. I guess they are now because like I was saying about my cycle. But again, like it's just, it like brings you back to like a place where like you regress back for a minute and you're like, oop, you know but I feel like the new moon in Cancer, like I was just thumbing through the book really quick, it literally said like a more positive resolution to certain family matters. So that's good to know. If this is within a family, like it seems like this is like a path to healing, although it might be a little bit messy and things like that. This Chariot is Cancer energy as well, and this is the most challenging aspect of this moon for you. So I feel like taking this softer approach is very challenging for you. Like I feel like you'd either rather be quiet, um or just like it kind of like all like pours out. Interesting too, there's a snake here just like there is here with this warrior energy, and then this soft like chariot, like nectar kind of an energy. I'm kind of seeing these as being connected. So I feel like for you to like learn how to do that is going to be something that is very challenging for you. It's not something that comes easy to you. I feel like you're more inclined to want to keep the peace than you are to talk through certain things, especially maybe with certain people. And Cancer energy is a very sensitive energy. So again, I feel like there could be a lot of like poking at sensitive areas again that cause an explosion. I feel like, so if this hasn't happened yet, but I feel like for Aries, like I was saying at the beginning of this reading, I feel like we're like ahead of the curve here with certain energies that come up. We feel them maybe first. I don't know if that's true or not, but it's just something that I have noticed in myself. So I feel like, let me know if that's true for you guys. Like if you're already feeling these energies. Hostilities. Okay. So I don't know. Like there's a lot of hostility, I guess, like in the air. So let's get anything else we want to know about this moon. We have Magician in the Mirror. Again, that magician energy coming through. Door to Spirit. Okay. All tied up. I feel like Spirit is almost like, I see a lot of like this dove imagery, like almost like the path to peace is maybe something that seems like the opposite of that. Hey, like come on in, like we see that you're all tied up in this certain situation and we want to help you to get free of that. I feel like I'm getting a vibe like that. Like that's what the vibe that's coming through here. Um, yeah, like Magician in the Mirror. I feel like this is kind of just reiterating certain things that we talked about. And I'm also getting you and your loved ones are safe is making me think that like, okay, like we could feel very justified about certain things, but with you and your loved ones are safe, like what if your loved ones weren't safe? It's kind of like a vibe of like, be careful what you wish for, be careful like what you say. There are some things that you can't take back. Um, no one is guaranteed certain things. So it's like if you can rectify a situation, maybe try to do that. Even though you might feel a little bit helpless or like you don't know where to start, I feel like, figure it out. Like you can do it. So let's get some advice for you guys. I have to stop saying so much. I like notice it and I have to just be okay pausing and not saying anything. Let's try it. All right, what is the advice for the viewers? Oh, okay, that one back. What's the advice for Aries right now for this full moon? Accept where you are at this moment in time. Only then can you begin to move forward. Be clear about your intentions. I think it means it. This makes it easier for us and the universe to help you. Doors will open unexpectedly. Be ready. I feel like that's more so saying like accept where you are. Like you can't like heal where you are if you don't like know where you are and accept it. So I don't know. I feel like spirit's like it's okay to be where you're at. Like it was supposed to happen this way. And now you can see where you need some change and where you've been holding yourself back from addressing certain things. Perhaps you are reminded all too often just how quickly the phases in your life can shift, one change after another. You are learning to adapt and grow. Be kind and gentle with yourself. Like, we all need that reminder sometimes. Don't place limits upon yourself. You are an infinite being with unlimited potential. You can have and be anything you want. Don't hold yourself back or allow anyone else to. This is your life. Live your truth and remain heart centered at all times. So maybe something that's going on is somebody's like putting you down when you've been trying to elevate yourself and progress your life forward. So maybe you've been feeling good about yourself and someone's coming through and just kind of shitting on your day, like, and shitting on you and just, oh, like, you always do that, or, oh, this is you, and trying to like tell you who you are. And maybe you've been trying to like surpass, is that the right word, like break free with the Sagittarius energy of like your limits and trying to see yourself in a different light and being like, I can do anything is possible, feeling good about yourself. And then someone is coming in and just shitting on it. And it's like, you get mad and you're sensitive about it because you're like, hey, like, I'm not that person anymore. Like, and then it's like you look crazy. And I don't know, I feel like spirit's like, no, like, also, like, this could be used as an opportunity, like, if you are getting, like, super upset, like, what needs to be, like, seen. I just feel like I'm taking this out. I don't know why. Um, let's just read it. Be clear about where you are putting your focus right now. Focus on your desired outcome. You have everything within to create the life of your dreams. Stop doubting yourself for once. This is your time. We've got you. And I think your spirit guides are like, yeah, there are these difficult people in your life that are always going to be there to test you and sort of give you a little checkpoint of where you're at. So, I mean, your spiritual team is definitely on your side. And I feel like this stuff coming through is just a distraction. Like, it's almost like with the magician in the mirror. It's like you're trying to only focus on yourself by like looking in the mirror and just like really like believing in yourself. But then it's like this magician is being called to like look away from that what they're focusing on and getting distracted. That's kind of like the vibe I'm getting here. Um oh, this magician. Okay. I'm trying not to do it. Whereas he can, I mean, I don't know if that's just pointing it out or if it's saying like don't be distracted by these things, or it's okay to be distracted. Like, you can't just like expect that you're going to like move towards this new version of yourself with no bumps in the road and no distractions and no like setbacks. It's going to be like up and down, so that's okay. Allow yourself to like be in each moment and see what each moment is trying to tell you, is something else that I would say. So let me grab, you can like, click out if you want, because I'm just going to be like reading from this book, my Journey into Light deck that I love so much, and just get some last minute advice or guidance for you guys. Moving forward, what does Aries need to hear right now? I just want to put these back, get them out of the frame. Okay, so what does Aries need to hear right now? Let's just get one. What is the advice for Aries? Rings of Time, number 44. And then, yeah, my voice needs to like go rest. um, Divine timing is granted to us as a gift. Sometimes, if we want to be further ahead than where we are, that gift can seem like a restriction rather than a generous holding. Much like traffic that moves systematically so that not only one car, but many can reach their destination according to a greater harmony and alignment. We are like individual cars that must sometimes accept red lights and other times can flow swiftly through many green lights. It is just this way, the systematic flow of divine energy through human manifestation. Your spiritual maturation, wait, where I just lost my place, is happening perfectly. There is no need to bother yourself about timing. When doors open, walk through. When there appears to be no such openings, rest and reflect. The rings of time serve you, beloved. This oracle brings you a message that the divine is completely responsible for the timing of every event, opportunity, and happening of grace in your life. All you need to do is live your life. Everything else is taken care of for you for now. This applies to all of your plans and the unfolding of all your relationships. Let it all breathe and let the divine happen as its will. I feel like that's the divine saying, like, we're just like, this is all kind of like part of the plan again, and you're kind of like becoming who you're meant to become. through these processes with different people in your life. And there could be this feeling of maybe trying to prove to, yeah, with this I'm more than enough, like almost like prove to people in your life, like, look at me, look how I've changed. And it's not happening like quickly enough for you. We're getting frustrated and you're just like, you're feeling different on the inside, but you haven't had like these outer changes to like have as like to corroborate that to like the people in your life. So you're just sort of having to be like, no, I am changed. And it kind of sounds like you're not, like probably to these other people, and they're like just treating you as if you're the same old person. So I feel like there needs to be this quiet dignity that you learn how to like acquire and possess. And maybe these experiences again will help you to do that. And at the very least, have more pathways to like more productive and conducive to like healing conversations with people. I feel like that sentence was kind of like grammatically incorrect. So sorry, but hope you got the point. All right, we're leaving this here. Thank you so much for watching this reading, guys. Hope you have a great full moon. I don't know. Good luck to you. It's going to be a rocky one, I feel like. So, all right, guys. Bye.